So we're going to go over some portfolio recommendations. $1,000 maybe, who knows? Some portfolios to look at. Low risk and a bit higher. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, subscribe, bell button, leave a like. I do apologise, I have a bit of a cough. It's not COVID, hopefully. Got a bit of a cold. But we will talk today about portfolio management and maybe a startup portfolio for some people. A little bit different. I picked out 4 coins twice. So 25% split on each one. Remember that, 25%. And I'm going to do a low risk little setting and a higher risk one. Now, I'm not talking about going for the likes of Safe Moon or some dog coins or some NFTs. I'm talking about if you want to earn a little bit more in terms of more potential, there's another bag there for you as well. So the reason why I want to go over this is because people ask me questions all the time. What is a good portfolio to start off with? What's a good asset? All kinds of good stuff. And I've picked out 4 for low risk and I picked out 4 for slightly higher risk. Now, they've all got elements of passive income within them. They've all got elements of potential growth anyway. So they are actually quite decent. But a lot of people do ask me that same question. Should I buy this? Should I buy that? Should I do this? How much should I put in this? What percentage? All that kind of relation to it. So I hope this video helps. So let's crack over onto the screen and we'll look at one thing first before we begin. So the first thing we need to look at is obviously the total market cap. Are we going up or are we going down? Well, we are currently going up right now, right? So when you look at these higher time frames, it is always good to get a measure of trend bias. You want to be able to buy when things are going up. Obviously, a little Fibonacci retracement here works well. But if we're looking at potential entry points, you want to try and buy as close to that EMA as possible when it's in a trend. If it's below that, you want to just wait, chill out, relax, do absolutely nothing. Because essentially what could happen is your portfolio could go down, right? So you've got to have a bit of nerve. A little bit different to the stock market. This, you can see a lot of things, which is quite good. So, as I say before, if you're below it, you want to be trying to just wait and chill, just relax, because it could just melt and melt and melt. You just don't know, right? Once it's above that level, it's not too bad. You can kind of get in and go with the current. The trend is your friend, as they say. So let's talk about it. Let's go into it. Now, I do this sort of thing on my Patreon in terms of like getting requests and stuff. Sometimes things come up on my Patreon that are quite good from other people. So there's 2 of them in here that are pretty well known, but they're also been found in Patreon as well quite a bit in terms of bullish speak. So the first one is the first portfolio, right? So we're going low risk here. What is wrong with having 25% of BTC just to become a bit of a counterbalance when that dominance changes? It always helps, right? So as a low risk, numbers go up. If you look at the monthly chart on Bitcoin, looks relatively good, right? Maybe a good position to start in. So for me, low risk, have a bit of Bitcoin. Come on now, why not? Number 1 is done, easy. Number 2 though, Polkadot. Why? 15% stake in rewards right now. You've also got the element that you could actually get involved in some crowd loans with this as well. But at the same time, the element with staking, you have to do it elsewhere if you are going to do it, because basically the amount that you're going to put in is not going to give you much as a yield. However, you can go onto Kraken or even Swissborg. Swissborg soon is going to be offering a yield, which won't have a lockup, but you can earn some passive income off that. So make sure you understand, because I think it's 120 DOT now to actually stake it. So it's not really geared up for the low term or the low hobbyist investor, so to speak, right? So just be careful with that one. Now, again, we're talking about staking. Now, this is a bit more favorable. PancakeSwap. So with PancakeSwap, it's a utility of the token and the platform of the DEX, right? You can actually lock this up and put it into a compounding APY system where you're getting about 70 to 90% APY, passive income. Now, a lot of new investors never, ever experience passive income, certainly very, very quickly, unless you're a dividend investor, unless you've got a load of ETFs or index funds where you're on like a pension or whatever, and you may get some money back. But traditional systems like the bank, you're never going to get it. But this gives you a very decent yield. Now, even over time, you could be growing a lot of cake, literally as units. But you've also got to think bull markets, bull runs, all kinds of good stuff. Mass people, utility of a token with people will go up in value. This has been much higher in the past as well, so make sure you understand this. But you can put this into a syrup pool very, very simply and earn passive income very, very quickly on a low risk portfolio, which is pretty savage, really. So that one could be very, very interesting as an option. And finally, Near Protocol. Now, if you don't know what Near Protocol is, very, very similar to Polkadot in a way. It's pretty cool. Has its own framework for assets to be built on as dApps and stuff. And it's only 3.4 billion market cap. This could well do very, very well. I think it could be a top 20 coin, personally. I think it's really good. So this one has a lot of multiples. So even in that low risk portfolio there, you got Bitcoin, says itself. You got Polkadot for potential passive income and the overall layer, or the layer 0, which essentially is going to get built on. You got Pancakes for passive income, and you got Near Protocol as well as something potentially for more risk reward versus the likes of Polkadot, even Ethereum, the likes of Cardano, for example, even Atom. There's loads of options there, but that one is, in my opinion, one of the lowest ranked, which has a lot of established partners. So that's portfolio number 1. Let's talk about portfolio number 2. Now, this is a bit more higher risk. It's basically systems and operations. It also has the effect of people as well, and a lower market cap. So the first one, again, for split again, simple, reserve rights. Again, mainnet is coming. They're going to be staking rewards too, so there will be passive income in the future on this over the next coming months. And it's currently 438 million market cap. That will increase significantly over the next coming months. Certainly when the tokens are released, when the staking rewards happen and the mainnet is coming, this will probably do pretty well. It is a very, very good, working product anyways. It just doesn't have its blockchain utility yet, but it will be. So that'd be pretty cool. So that is a one for me. I think will do very, very well. The next one is Moon River. This is smart contracts on the Kusama network. This is the sister to essentially Polkadot, Kusama. And this is where in the future you'll hear a coin about Moonbeam. This is essentially the test version of that utility. It works very, very well. And the ability to have Ethereum compatible smart contracts on a chain that works faster, it's more scalable, and it's also cheaper, is ridiculously important for the network. We know how bad the gas fees are. Even right now, the gas fees are ridiculous. I mean, that's still relatively high considering nothing's really happening today. So whenever something does happen, it always jolts. This will enable things to work better, and how it should work realistically when you're thinking about it. So that's important. Now, last thing to talk about regarding this, and obviously Kusama, with it being more of an experimental chain, it's still in its own right. So don't get confused that Kusama is not just a test net. This is its own project in its own right, basically community backed. So definitely keep an eye on it. The fact that this is Ethereum compatible and only 500 million market cap, that is pretty interesting. Now, let's talk about scalability. Multivac, talked about this before. It's similar sort of ilk to the likes of Zilliqa, which is currently a top asset in the top 100. This is ranked 512. This is quite low down. 60 million market cap. Now, in the next coming months, you're going to have smart contracts. You're going to have, NFTs. You're going to have a full mainnet launch. It's only done a mainnet on a partial at the moment. So there's definitely room to grow here as well. But the fact that smart contracts are coming in November, I believe, will be very, very interesting. So keep an eye on this one too. Could do very, very well. And the last one. You may not have heard of it, but it came to my attention in the world of my Patreon, is Octopus. Octopus Network. And this one looks pretty interesting. It is actually built on a substrate in terms of Polkadot, but it will be using Near Protocol to do its, its functionality, right? So when we look at this in terms of what it is, it's essentially an interoperable set of smart contracts that will be running on the Near Protocol, but it will run a thing called app chains where it will build actual dApps on top of it as well. So this one could be a one that could do very well. And again, it's relatively new. Fully diluted in terms of market cap is currently 248 million, which is relatively low. It's relatively unknown as well, i.e. when you look at the markets where it's on, it's not on many places. So in terms of a project that is just getting built, this could be of interest. And yeah, came up on my Patreon, looks pretty good. I quite like it. It's all right. It's not something that I'd probably invest in right now, but certainly one I'm keeping an eye on. Certainly when you look at the Near protocol, you know, as a bridge anyways, if the website works. Have I broke it? Cool, awesome. Probably my internet, there we go. So with this Web 3.0, similar to Polkadot, you know, this is where the future is going. This is where the world is going in terms of blockchain. I'd suggest you watch the video if you are interested. But again, low market cap, good technology. It'll work in a similar sort of way in terms of interoperability. So yeah, growth is happening in the entire space, and those ones will do very well. So overall, they are some coins that you could look at adding potentially to your portfolio. As always, not financial advice. You know, these could all go to zero essentially. I hope they don't. But at the end of the day, you got to be realistic here. Buy as low as you can. Buy in the support zones. Look when the trend is going up, and make sure you are a part of it in that trend. Just be careful though. Do not over risk. That's why I put a 25% split on each one. There's too many people in this world that go for like 85 million different altcoins and wonder why they don't get rich, or they wonder why they don't because they've not caught the news. So enjoy. I'll speak to you again very, very soon.